Alrighty, Chef Buck here, and today Camera Girl is cooking up a delicious stuffed acorn squash. She's got this thing filled with couscous, raisins, chickpeas. It's just fantastic and a great way to use an acorn squash. But to start this recipe off, we're going to toast up our almonds. We're going to throw them on a little thin sheet, slide them in the oven at 400 degrees, and let them toast away for just a few minutes. You're going to watch them like a hawk so they don't burn. And once they're nutty brown, go ahead and pull them out. We'll set them aside and we'll get to the star of this dish, which is the acorn squash. Now these things are hard as a rock and they're green, but you see that spot of color on there? That's when you want to buy them, when they start to get a little color on them. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to whack them right in half, right down the center. You know, I say whack, but it ain't that easy. You know, it's like cutting a bowling ball. Through the magic of editing, I made it look a little easier than it is. But you want to be careful because you can lose a finger or thumb, you know, if you're not watching yourself with a big knife cutting a bowling ball. But then you want to go all Freddy Krueger, you know, get all the guts out, you know, get all the seeds and these stringy bits. But don't worry, you know, don't be as compulsive as Camera Girl here, because once we roast them up, any of that stringy stuff left will come out pretty easily. And here's the trick, you know, just whack off the bottom there. I shouldn't say whack off, but just slice off the bottom there so that it lays flat. And see how it's crooked? You know, that's not perfect, but that's all right. It looks like a sinking ship. But that's not going to sink your dish, so don't worry about it. You know, just throw them face down on a shallow pan, and then we're going to add a little bit of water. You know, that's going to keep the squash from getting gummy and burnt and stuck to the pan while it's roasting. Slide them in your oven at 400 degrees. Let them cook away for 30 or 40 minutes. And while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and get our stuffing cooked up. We're going to heat some oil on medium-high heat, and then we're going to add in our carrots that we got chopped up here. We're going to add a little finely chopped ginger and some finely chopped garlic, and we're going to give these three ingredients about a 3 or 4 minute head start. You know, we're just going to saute them around on the bottom of the pan, and that smell, you know, Glade should make a damn ginger and garlic air freshener. After a few minutes, we'll add our raisins, we'll add our chickpeas. We're just using canned chickpeas. You know, we rinsed them and we drained them. So saute these things up for a few minutes. Then we'll throw our spices in there. A little bit of cumin and a little bit of cinnamon. And I'm not a huge fan of cinnamon and raisins, you know, for my main dish. But it just tastes awesome in this particular recipe. Add your salt and pepper to taste. And then we'll just continue stirring these around just for a couple of few more minutes to get the flavors going. And then we're going to throw in a little bit of broth. We're using chicken broth, but you can use a vegetable broth if you want to make it a purely vegetarian dish. Throw a lid on your pot and let it simmer away, you know, for about 5 minutes. And while that's happening, you can check the water level on your squash, because you don't want that water to burn off and your squash to get burned and stuck. So go ahead and add a little more water if you need to. Now after about 5 minutes of bubbling away in your pot, you should be able to smash down some of your chickpeas if you want to. You don't have to, it doesn't matter, I don't know. Camera Girl's just getting her rage out right there, you know. So bring your pot back up to a bubble, and then you can go ahead and throw your couscous in there. Stir it up, you know, get it mixed up in there, and then we'll go ahead and turn the heat off and cover your pot and set it aside and let it stand for about 5 minutes, and let that couscous soak up all that water there. And then right about the time your couscous is finished soaking up all that water, you know, if everything is cosmically come together and your timing is perfect, then your squash should be ready, you know. So pull it out of the oven, and then be super duper careful flipping these things over, because there's like a pocket of steam under there that'll come up and it will disfigure you, you know. So exercise a little bit of caution when you're flipping these things over. You know, poke them with the tines of your fork. If it goes in gently, you know, it should be done. You don't want it to be overdone. You don't want it to be mushy. If you got any strings or strands in there, it's easy to get them out now. And at this point, we're ready to finish up our stuff and mixture. You know, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 of a sweet apple that we've chopped up pretty well. You know, we're going to spoon this in here. We're going to add a little bit of green onion, you know, some chopped up green onion, not a lot. A little bit of color, a little bit of flavor. And then those almonds that we toasted at the very beginning of the recipe. We're going to go ahead and add those. We're going to go ahead and mix this up, you know, get those ingredients tossed in with this couscous stuffing. And then that's it. Now we just got to stuff our squash. And you know, you can be a barbarian and you can pack it in there as hard as you can, or you can just ladle it like we're doing here, respectfully and gently, you know, and that makes a nice presentation, you know. Your eyes and your guts are going to appreciate this dish. And it's great if you have people over, you know, because it kind of looks sort of impressive. You know, see how fancy pants this thing looks? And we're just serving it with a simple green salad. You know, it's delicious and it's healthy. Stuffed acorn squash. You know, give this dish a try. Let us know what you think, and bon appetit. So it was a success, camera girl?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. That's the definition of success right there. Alrighty, thanks for watching. You know, thanks for being good to your neighbor. Thanks for, you know, not taking things that don't belong to you just because nobody's watching. And I don't know, that's a good start.